Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope everybody's fine. I'm Professor Aldo Brunhara and Director of International Business School Americas, and I'm really happy to be here with you today. And I'd like to welcome you and say that's really a great honor to share some ideas with you. And I hope our conversation is going to be a very interactive way during this webinar. It's going to be very short, but I hope that's going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about very important subjects. We're going to explore and some ideas on how to develop leadership competences, how to do that through entrepreneurial and also through innovative ideas, innovative activities you can do inside your company or inside or on the job you are doing today. This is a very important topic, both for your personal development and also to create a solid understanding of how leadership can enhance your professional career and also support your company to grow, because this is what they are looking for you. This is what they are hiring us to do that. And also this will support at the end of the day to increase the development of your region, which is the most beneficial results that you can do as a leader. Your country needs leaders, and both in public and also in private sectors. They are very demanding on leaders, so it's going to be very good for you. Well, during this webinar, I'm going to emphasize why leaders are so important inside the organizations and how leadership can be built. And so our subjects will be focusing on the role of a leader as the most important agent of innovation inside a company. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about how people's creative thinking leads to innovation inside the company, and I will also discuss a company's strategic thinking in terms of how good and how a creative idea can turn in something that can add you value. Because at the end of the day, this is what's the most important thing, right? What do you think? Give me your comments here about that. Because the clients, the society are looking for that, right? Well, last but not least, I'm going to discuss with you why innovation is so vital to build what the companies are looking for, creating competitive advantages. In order to chat about these subjects, I hope, as I mentioned, we're going to be like chatting with you on this. I hope also you provide your comments, your idea in our chat. Please give your comments as we're going through these ideas. At the end, I hope to answer your questions that are coming here. If you have any questions, please do so. Connect using your Gmail account and send to us your contribution. I'll be more than glad to try to interact with you in our chat. Some of your colleagues already sent questions, so I have some questions here with you. Thank you guys for working hard in advance, but you have time, so join us in the chat. It's very easy. It's free. There's no cost. Okay, and it just connects you using your Gmail account. At the right side of your screen, you can send the question to us. Okay. And I have the assistance here of Valkyria. Thank you, Valkyria, for being with me. How are you today? Good?
I'm good.
Yeah, okay. So Valkyria is here taking notes of your comments, and we're going to be like interacting with you, and we're going to talk to you about how the opportunities that International Business School Americas also offer you to study abroad. And it's going to be a very unique life experience change, and then we're going to talk about that as well. And I hope if you have any questions, please do so to ask to Valkyria, and we're going to reply at the end of the sessions. Okay? Well, this presentation and discussion I created based on my experience as a consultant and also a professor. I have also considered some very important renowned authors. Basically, James Collins' book, the very classic, Good to Great. I don't know if you have read that, but I do recommend you to do it. It's very worthwhile to read, and it helps us to understand how the organizational leaders' role are and how we interact with them. Another source is about innovation. I'm just mentioning about Peter Drucker's article, The Discipline of Innovation. This article is highly recommended also for you to read. It's free. You can download this through internet. Very easy, very nice, and I hope you enjoyed this article as well. Okay. Also, I consider some other studies I'm going to consider for increasing our debating our information we're going to go over today. Together with all this information, and then we're going to go and interact with you and mention also your comments during the chat. All right? Well, let's start then. Folks, the first thing is sometimes our organizations are doing their work, they are developing activities, they are doing projects, they are creating new business, developing new programs, okay? But basically, the companies are doing things today as the same way they are doing in the past. What do you think about this? Do you think the world is static or is the world dynamic? The world has changed, so if we're looking to do better things for the company, we have to move forwards and make innovations to make our company more competitive, okay? Because the environmental change, and this change demands from us in the organization to reinvent ourselves, all right? Not both in the company and also in our career. Sometimes we have to invent ourselves and get to know more knowledge and something that we don't know, right? And that's precisely is where the leader's job is. That's the focus of my presentation today. The leaders inside the company play a very important role that I can honestly evaluate and what's happening outside the company, and can look inside the company, see what gaps are and what kind of competence I need to develop. So we make the strengths and weaknesses that our company have and then we have to develop an action plan to potentialize our strengths and minimize our weaknesses. If the leader does not do that, who's going to do this? What do you think? Is the company going to anywhere? Or is the company going to be doing a static in the same process as it is today? And after tomorrow, it's going to do what they did the day before. And then it's going to get stale. That's the problem on the companies. I mean, because if they get stuck, I mean, in the outside the environment is not stuck. So we have to increase and potentialize the innovation, because this reinvigorates the company and the process and enhances our capacity to add value at the end of the chain. And who is in the end of the chain? Is our customers, the most important actor. So the leader needs to play this role and look for the whole chain, and also how we can create more value to the customers. Okay. In terms of the shaping the leaders, for us to get better understand, I would like to share with you one classic example. Because when we go for examples, we can understand better how this works. And for me, John Kennedy, the former U.S. president, is very good example. Kennedy, I don't know if you know about this, but in the beginning of the 60s, when he released the program that it was called Apollo program, he established a goal for the United States, and this goal was initially specific for NASA, but then became a goal for the whole nation. Yeah. At that time, he said to the whole country, guys, I'd like to take the man to the moon by the end of the 60s. That the United States will be responsible to take the man to the moon and bring him back safely. It was a very clear statement, a very clear direction, and so I want the United States to take the man to the moon and bring him back safe. I don't want to get in the merits if it's important to go to the moon or not, because that's not the topic today. What I'm going to call your attention is Kennedy as a leader. He was capable of mobilizing humanity progress, using human resources, using material resources, using financial resources he put available for achieving these goals, right? This classic example gives to us a better understanding when a leader gives the role for the whole organization, and because leader is not just collecting resources. Leader is creating better conditions to, in the process of achieving a goal, he will identify the right competencies that are necessary to be built to get there, right? Maximize the use of your capabilities in the entire organization, not just toward the goal at one hand, but also towards completing other objectives that will come through and he doesn't know sometimes. Because in the course of actions, lots of different results will come through. Let me explain a little bit there because it's very, very important topic and I want you to understand. When we establish a goal, when you say, I want to do something different for my life, for my career, for my job, we also need to think about what kind of competence I need to acquire. How I can acquire these competences. And in looking as a leader in the organization structure, in the organization musculature, we need to see and establish this, what kind of skills, what kind of capacities I need to create, and then develop these new skills, new capacities. And then will help us to achieve the goal, to deliver what I'm looking for. So the leader does not only have help the company to achieve a long specific goal. A leader also help the company to achieve many different goals the organization may have, because that's the role of a leader. Yeah. During the course of actions taken by the leader to achieve that specific goal, of course, other projects will come through. Let me go back to the example of Apollo program to make it very, very clear for you. In the terms of dollars today, the investment was around $150 billion in terms of financial resources. It was a very intensive, massive sum of money. Not just considering inflation, but in the 60s, $150 was a lot of money, yeah, and that comparing today. So this money, this resource was able to make the man going to the moon and bring him back safe. Then I have a question for you. What else was done with that money? What do you think? What else was done? Yeah. Well, we got today computerized tomography, one of technology that came from the Apollo program. Yeah. And that is used until today. Yeah. We have in numerous areas, including medicine, including reduction of the shape of the computers, the size of the computers reduction that was necessary for let the man going out of Earth, electronic devices, and also estimated from Apollo program. Microchip was one developed as well. Yeah, all of these tools was necessary. Because the man needs technology to get there and come back safely. Because that was a specific goal created by Jeff Kennedy. Yeah. The computer we are using today to chat with you, and you are in many countries, and so we are using this technology also thanks to Apollo program. All those cordless devices we use to generate power, like power drills, other technologies came from Apollo program as well. Yeah, I don't know if you know that, but you can see Apollo program gave lots of results, benefiting not only American companies but benefiting ourselves since today in many different countries. So it's benefiting the whole world. Yeah. So Kennedy, as a leader, he played a very important role. Identify a long-term goal, and then he pushed the country and NASA to achieve that specific goal. And in the results, we have many others benefits, the device that came from this. And he was not the first leader in history for sure. You might have lots of leaders you like, or you might remember. Yeah? What kind of leader that gives a very long-term goal? Let's go back a little bit in history to have another example to make it more clear for you. I like the example of the pharaoh from Egyptian pyramids, because when a pharaoh said, "I want to create a pyramid here," he had to move their architects, their engineers, but they did not have the skills. So he pushed the engineers' skills to be developed, and then came astronomy, then came other benefits in other areas as well. So all the knowledge applied to build pyramids was later used to building cities, was later used to organize our labor force, and also to get weather forecasting, plantation cycles organization, because they have to organize everything. So we can see that based on one specific goal to create a pyramid, the Egyptian society transformed themselves in the most advanced one at that time, right? So we know that, and that's I'm talking about 5,000 years ago, long time ago, with the world's biggest construction that was only overpassed recently in the 19th century. 5,000 years ago, these constructions were only overtaken in height and size again in the 19th century. But then the new modern made structure we have now in New York, in Europe, in Asia, big buildings, and you see. So when a leader identifies a goal, it's beneficial in many different perspectives. That's the message I want you to keep. Okay? When a leader identifies a goal, it's beneficial in many different perspectives. And if you are able to develop yourself, if you are able to develop these qualities to be a leader and play a role as a leader, you will contribute for sure to your organization. And I guarantee you, you will prosper in your career as well. You will prosper in your new innovative ideas to entrepreneur and anything you want to do in your life, basically. Okay? Well, guys, if you are very being attentive to what I have discussed so far, I must need to call your attention that this is a very important aspect of the characterizes the leadership. Okay? I'm not talking about charisma to be a leader or someone to be popular to be a leader among your colleagues. Some people think about that. I'm talking about a person who creates vision. Okay? Someone who has the capacity to recognize opportunities. Someone who is capable to move the team as a group and get there. And to do that, a leader needs education. Need to improve your education, your skills, and also to perform as a leader. And I'm just talking about education because, unfortunately, the investment in education in emerging economies and developed economies are very extremely unequal. Yeah, and it seems that some countries have developed the idea that the less we spend in education, the better. Yeah, and that's something we need also to consider. If you look, for example, one information I'm going to show you in this table. I got this information from OCDE, with European Global Organization. The investment per student in elementary school, also in high school and college in education, we can see that per country, this information allow us to analyze and compare some countries. We can see, for example, some developed countries like Switzerland, Sweden, or United States, Norway, Canada. These countries spend around $16,000 per year per student. Yeah, they investing this money in education. Okay, that is very good for these countries. Congratulations, governments from these countries. These countries are quite rich and the wealth is well divided. So the companies that come from these countries are very competitive, and they are leaders in their market. Okay. However, they are still investing more in education because they want them to lead more in their markets. Okay. While on the other hand, we have the poor countries on the right side of your table. You can see that the poor countries that needed to spend more on education are doing the opposite. Yeah. They need, why they need to invest that? Because they need to increase productivity, they need to create new capacities, they need to create more opportunities, and they are investing 4 or 5 times less. Well, this is really not correct. Yeah, we cannot just stay here blaming, but we can also give some suggestions. That's our mission from International Business School Americas, which is our role, is our vision. We need to internationalize the human resource. We need to give the opportunity for students from emerging countries to go abroad and study and improve themselves and to go back to their community and become leaders. Yeah, that's what I want you to do that. That's the value I want to share with you. Because when we promote education abroad, especially if a high quality education abroad, this will help you to go back to your country, help your community to go up. And the best of this is to go with your scholarships with over 50%. You can get a scholarship over 50%, and that's very important. Well, I'm just talking about education, then I've got motivated because I love these subjects. I don't want to skip let's go back to the topics of the presentation. So, the leader is responsible for seeing what's happening outside and then see what we need to innovate. And we need, as a leader, we need to articulate the ideas with the necessary delivering value to the customer at the end of the chain, as I mentioned at the beginning of the conversation. All right. What your customer needs to do, they need to look at your product and see, I see value what you have. I see benefit on the company you're offering to me. I want to buy your products. You want to create this desire to be your customer. And innovation comes here to align the gaps I have in our products to what our customers are looking for. And to do that, the company cannot be a static organization. The company needs to be a dynamic one, someone who moves forward innovation. Okay. In the article I mentioned to you in the beginning of this chat, Professor Peter Drucker says the main sources of corporate innovation are not inside the company. Do you know where are the main sources of innovation? What do you think? Peter Drucker said that it's outside the company. It's in the environment, the unexpected fact, the inconsistency in the market, a new methodology that was created, a new technology that was implemented, and these changes in the market changes the way the consumer behaviors are doing things, and then also the way we think we act, and also the people's perceptions, and this creates new desires. Okay, and of course the company needs to look on that and then innovate and adjust your product to acquire the customer. Yeah. And then promoting this innovation inside the company is not easy because sometimes the structure is doing the same thing as they did yesterday. Right? Have you seen this example before? That's why the leader needs to play the role, needs to move forward, needs to create the vision. Because the vision along term will create the opportunity for the company to grow. The vision will create opportunity for fulfill the customer perception, perspective, and also deliver a value to the customer and create what we desire more, to create competitive advantages. Okay, so if a leader is able to do that, looking what's happening outside, yeah, looking what we have inside the company, identify the gaps, yeah, and then implement actions with a very high qualified group of people, you're gonna succeed. There's no doubt about it. I have thousands of examples about that, right? So when I myself as a board professor stay screaming to you here, asking you, keep on studying, go abroad, study, participate in our scholarship program. Yeah, it's because I need you to engage, because indeed, to create the baseline of competence is education, and education will create new skills for you to perform as a leader, to perform a very successful professional, especially nowadays in this globalized world. Even though some countries we have some barriers nowadays against the globalization, but at the end of the day we see the richest countries are the ones who are more integrated globally. Okay, so if you can develop yourself, invest in education, create a leader, you're going to be very, very important to the organization. You're going to contribute. However, you need to be a very collaborative member. You need to be a very responsible. You need to be a very effective person. You need to construct a long-term excellent team. Why is that? Because you cannot do alone things. Because you are not a Hollywood star that comes and solves all the problems. Of course, a leader can play a very important role, but needs the team to be involved, and then small, step-by-step implement innovations. Can be increase innovation or can also disrupt innovations, and a leader is the one who needs to search something to do things better every day. Every day the leader needs to sit in his chair and think about what can we do better than we did yesterday, what can we do for our team to excel to do that. So following Professor Collins, we need to have hiring the right person in the right position. In his book Good to Great, he mentioned that when we have someone in the team that are not performing well, you as a leader are responsible for that. You are a leader needed to replace this person. I'm not talking about laying off. I'm talking about changing and putting the people in the right location, because this change will help you to move forward and make the innovations and then implement what's necessary. Yeah? And the team are the most important part of your organization. You cannot risk on it. They are the driving force of the innovation inside the company. Yeah? Some people think that a Hollywood star comes and make a solution for everything in a question of second. Yeah, but in fact, life is not like Hollywood movies, right? Life is not like that. Not only life, but the companies are not like that in the society, okay? Because we, at the end of the day, we are human beings. We are moved by a group of people. We are searching for the best way to manage this group, so to make the group to excel. So having the right person, designate the best person to do the right tasks, that's the key important task of the leader as well. So the role of the leader inside the organization is, as I always suggest to you, following Professor James Collins' ideas, that you place yourself as a provocative leader. What does that mean? What does a provocative leader mean? Provocative leader means to make questions, to challenge people intellectually, to help people to solve the problems, not to indicate who made the mistakes. Dialogue with the team, okay? Not just imposing ideas. Is someone who search for a solution together, not only mistakes. Help the team to excel. And this has to be done every day, okay? We must, and we can, find a new way to work, and the role of a leader is indeed to support people in this development. We have a very important role in people's life, right? So summarizing that, this is, we need to be aware of the company problems, yeah, and then finally, inside the organization, inside the team, We need to allocate the talents mainly to excel their performance. And how people will excel their performance? What do you think? People will excel their performance when they do what they love, when they do with their people's hearts. Let me explain this to you, because this idea is so important, and the leader needs to be capable of making people to excel, because the whole group will be impacted in terms of productivity, in terms of new ideas, innovation, customer satisfaction. You don't have any idea how they do that. So that's why it's so important, when you think about the leadership, is to reallocate those people according to their strengths. This will multiply efficiency of the team. This will multiply the productivity of the company. Right? Is that all right so far? Do you agree on these topics? Let me hear your opinion. All right, guys and girls, we are just fairly fast, quickly get to the end, discussing leadership and how leadership based on innovation, based on entrepreneur actions, is built inside organizations. Okay, so I hope that you enjoy our conversation. I hope you like this, and I hope this will add something to your life, because that's the most important thing, right? All right, thank you very much. But before we go now for the questions and answers, I do like to say to you that we are in the process of selecting new students to New York. It's very easy for you to apply for scholarships, especially for emerging economies, and to study with International Business School Americas at the State University of New York. In the State University of New York, there are intensive 3-week programs in marketing, in project management, in finance, and also business English if you just want to study English at this State University of New York. All these programs includes company visit and also one business presentation. One company visit and one business presentation. The programs are held all in English. There's no translation. So to do the program, you need to be intermediate level, right, to advanced. And then you're going to have the chance to talk about the most important topics in the business world. I mean, you're going to have lectures with you American professors from State University of New York, half of the day. The other half of the day, if you want, you can do the business English half-day model as well. So the program has been designed for you to be in classroom from Monday to Thursday, from 9 to 4 p.m. every day. Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are free. And of course, when you interact in the country, you learn a lot. That's something very important. Okay, and the scholarships are available. And you, Valkyria, we're going to post the link for you to apply and submit your application if you have not done that already. And the scholarships are from 50% up, yeah, up to 60%. And the latest date for this edition is November 24. But don't leave to the last minute, because this you may have some doubts and make questions to Valkyria, and she'll be more than glad to reply to you. Yeah. But my recommendation to you first is to choose the right program for you that will create the right program for you that will create opportunity for you to step forward your career. Okay, and Valkyria is very aware about the programs. She'll be very open to help you. So for my recommendation to you guys is, you're going to invest some of your money, you invest your time. So I want you to go back to your country and say, Professor Aldo, that was the best experience I have ever had in my life. Okay, I had many cases of students come to me at the end of the programs and say, thank you very much. You don't know how much I have changed. Because this will be a transformation process. When you step in the first day one, and then when you finish the last day, I guarantee you, you are not going to be the same. Yeah, because you're going to be having lectures, you're going to be exposed to American culture, you're going to have opportunity to integrate networking with other students from different locations. And in July, the programs take places at the State University of New York in New Paltz, and then in January it's in Albany, the city, the capital city of New York State, which is very, very good one as well. The programs are the same. The difference is, do you want to stay in the winter or do you want to stay there in the summer time? During July, State University of New York in New Paltz, they also open the dorms for you. You can stay in the dorms, which is quite nice as well if you want to have the experience of being American students completely. Yeah. In January, the students, their regular students are in campus, so they don't have the housing available, but you're gonna be staying in a one block from the campus in a hotel with a very good competitive rate that the State University of New York gives to the students as well. All right, guys, thank you very much for being here with me. I'm gonna now open the session for questions and answers. Let's see if we can have on a video. I'd like also, before we go to the questions, I'm going to share with you one student opinion. All right, let's listen to the student.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabriel Wanzeller. I majored in international relations in Rio. I'm currently living here in the United States. I work for a real estate company. I'm with corporate finance here at SUNY, and this experience has been exactly what I expected about it and more. I came here to learn the most basic, most fundamental concepts of finance, and it's been really all of that because I have no financial background, and it just widens all of my opportunities and possibilities to work here in the States and to send out resumes and to increase my resume. So it's been really great, not only the course itself, but also just the people, the professors I get to meet, all the incredible networking. There are people from the Netherlands and South Africa and Guatemala and Costa Rica and the Philippines. It's amazing. Just the network here is amazing. And getting to know different cultures and getting to know different people and personalities and their backgrounds, that's really incredible. Plus, as for the course itself, we've been learning just so much in a short period of time, which has been really intense and gratifying. And it's just been everything I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, corporate finance has been very, very knowledgeable.
Gabriel is one example I'd like to share with you because it's better you listen to him directly. And he was one of the students that enjoyed the State University of New York, and I hope you guys are going to be the next ones. Remember the programs and the certificate issued by State University of New York, okay, because you're going to be a student of State University of New York. In July is in New Paltz, and then in January is in Albany. The programs are the same, but you just choose based on if you prefer to see snow or if you prefer to see the sun. Right? Okay, my dears, let's go to the questions then. And I have two questions, one from Khalid and also from Dalin. Basically, both are asking about funding innovations. So I have answered before. I asked Valkyria to post in our chat for you guys some links for you to search about the opportunities for funding innovation. There are lots of opportunities for emerging, especially Bangladesh where you are. As an emerging economy, you maybe apply. You just need to create a project, and then you have to follow the rules of these institutions, and you may be lucky to get the funding for your idea for innovating. Also, it's not in the link, but I also would like to recommend you look for Bill Gates Foundation. Bill Gates Foundation, they have lots of funds available for emerging economies, and as Bill Gates mentioned, he wants to solve people's problems, and then part of his revenue and his money, he's investing in education, he's investing in new ideas and innovation, especially in Africa, especially in South Asia. Yeah, so maybe that's a good opportunity for you guys as well at the Bill Gates Foundation. Okay, Halid. Okay, Dalin from Bangladesh. Thank you very much for your questions. So far, huh? Well, I have a question from Armenia, from Europe. Thank you very much, Vicky Hito. Is asking here about the strategic leadership, how the strategic leadership can develop in a country, can develop a nation. Well, Vicky Hito, it's quite important because without this, it's almost impossible. Following my lecture, I mean, basically creating opportunity for education. So, and then education will create leaders. Leaders will make movements. Movements will create innovation. Innovation will entrepreneur. You see, everything is linked. When you entrepreneur, you hire people. People get more money, salaries, and then they become consumers. The consumers demand new products, and then new products are developed by new startups, new companies, and then the cycle becomes, in a certain way, bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's the way strategic leadership develops a nation. That's my view. I don't know if you understand, if you I agree. Give me your opinion. I appreciate and would like to hear about your view as well. Thank you, Vicky Hito from Armenia. Now going to Africa, I have a question from Algeria. Kamari Shaoki. How Kamari, how are you? Well, Kamari is asking here how a very simple student can make a personal innovation that will be published and get to know and be successful in the field. Well, it looks like you're a little bit shy, but don't be shy because nowadays we have many ideas, many opportunities, especially because of innovation. There is a theory about the companies that are born globals. I don't know if you know about that. Some little applications, some little ideas that start from one community, can be Algeria or any country, and then you can develop these ideas on yourself, and then becomes fantastic. Yeah, I was in California in September, and I was in the Burbank Festival of Innovation, and there I got the presentation for a company, a startup that she won $100,000 in prize because her idea was very different, and she started doing a babysitter electronically. So her idea was basically just for you to have an idea. She created an application where people who have sometimes in their agenda, they can take care about the other people's child. Yeah, and then they share times. I mean, for example, if I'm home today, I can take care of one child, or maybe tomorrow I have to work, I will give my child to another family, and then it will be an interactive society, and the best for them with no cost because they are integrated. And this was very innovative idea, and she created on her own. I mean, alone, because when she got a daughter, she needed to pay for a babysitter, but she did not have money, so she created this alone. And that's only one example. You can go for the web and you can see many examples. Kahamari, don't be shy. Put your energy out. Put your creative ideas out and implement it. Okay? You may succeed. Look for opinions from your network. And of course, the opinions will help you to create a business plan. And the business plan will sustain you to go to growth. Okay? I hope you enjoy my answer, and I love your question. Thank you very much, Kahamari from Algeria. Now I'm gonna open the session for online questions. Let's see if, okay, if you have questions or comments, you can also share with us.
We do not have questions, but I would like to thanks to Vicky Hito and Ibti Hag for participating and sharing their opinions during the lecture.
Thank you, Vicky Hito. Keep on doing this good energy. Armenia.
Yes, and also Ibti Hag.
Ibti Hag, from where? You know?
I don't know where
All right.
he's from, but he also shared his opinions during the
Do
lecture.
you want to read some?
Yes, he said that team spirit can make every member a good leader in what he is an expert and increase his self-confidence, which will certainly contribute to the success of the environment in which they work.
Indeed, you are completely right, because and then you can create a better performance of the team. I mean, that's you are in the right direction. I mean, it's good to I ask Valkyria to read your question, because some of the students will see this webinar in a later moment, and then it's very important for them to see how you are thinking about it. Thank you very much for your question.
He just said he's from Sudan.
Sudan. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So it's an emerging economy as well that needs leaders, and we need people like you, because you are investing your time here watching me, and like a boring professor talk to you, and you are investing your time, your money, looking maybe the opportunity to go abroad, and Sudan, Algeria, Armenia, Bangladesh. I mean, these countries are so amazing opportunities, and human resources from these emerging economies are so fantastic, very creative people. And the multinational companies, I guarantee you, they are looking for talents. I mean, everywhere. Even though Bill Gates Foundation, they have. I have seen a movie in the Netflix about Bill Gates' history. If you have not seen that, I do recommend you that. And you're gonna see that he hired one guy from Africa to help him in this sanitization problem the Bill Gates Foundation was trying to solve. So try to innovate in new ways of doing the health, improve the health system in Africa. All right, guys, thank you very much for your patience to be here. I love your questions, I love your moments, and I hope to see you in one of the programs. Remember, November 24th, the last day for you to apply. Valkyria will assist you to choose the best program. New York is an amazing place. We're going to give you all the support for you to apply for the visa. The State University of New York will issue an endorsement letter for you. You don't need to have a I-20 or a student visa. You just need to have a tourist visa. It's enough, because it's a short-term program. Of course, there's an investment on your part, but you can also pay installments. That's something the foundation does for helping emerging students. If you don't have the money to pay everything, you can pay installments, and you can travel in advance in a later moment. For example, at the moment, State University of New York, we have the dates for July 2021 as well. So you can enroll yourself now for July 2021. But professor, is so far from here, from this moment. Yes, that's why you need to plan. And now I always say to the students, only those who are not planning are not going to go abroad. If you want to go abroad, everyone can do it. You can pay installments, but you have to pay a little bit per month. You can pay in your credit card by StudyPay. StudyPay is a UK bank system. You can do this process. Professor, I don't trust on this, that they may have got my money in fraud or something like that. If you are uncertain about it, I can give you the name, telephone of the staff manager of State University of New York. They will confirm to you that everything I'm saying to you is correct. Because I know some people, some students are correct in terms of investigating and see if there's, because there are a lot of bad people in the internet. I know that, right? And I want you to be confident on this. And I guarantee you, if you make a plan, if you project ahead, you're gonna do the program. Okay, my friends. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope to see you in the next season, next time. Bye bye. Take care.